If there's someone in here, I'm sorry. I just tried one new thing on YouTube, so I just need to. I'm using my phone to send out the links, so that is why I'm not looking at if there's anyone writing anything. So I apologize. I'm not rude. I'm just trying to give everyone the heads up that I'm actually live on Instagram right now. And Sleeping Golden said hi. Well, hello guys. And we're taking these away. And we're changing the background color. Can everyone see me? Can everyone hear me good? Is the music good? Is it too loud? Hi from Manchester, UK. Hello. Hello, Natalie. How are you today? I'm very good, AC. How are you? From Manchester, UK. Well, I'm from Sweden, so we're not that far away from each other. I think it takes like 2.5 hours to go to England. Hello, everyone. Hello, Craig. Hello, Dr. Nico. The market has been so boring during this weekend. Nothing special had happened. We're gonna close, I think. Okay, good. Subaru, hello, how are you? So Bitcoin up or down? Well, well, who knows? Well, as I just told you guys, it's a very boring market. We haven't been doing anything much since yesterday. I wanted to put up a video yesterday, but the market was so boring. So I was like, what should I even talk about? But I'm gonna do one later, just so we can look at. But we came back down to the support that we did have at 60,000. If we're going back in time, that is also a, was it on the monthly or on the weekly? Yeah. Hello, Devor. I'm good. How are you? Hello from Las Vegas. Hello, Aldrich. Philip, are you familiar with IMX? No, I'm not. I've been to Las Vegas once, actually. I didn't like it. It was too... I don't know. It was just, I'm from Sweden, so we're not so much as Americans, but Las Vegas was a pretty special place to be at. Okay, we are above the previous resistance at 60,000, and that is if we're going back in time. This is the previous all-time high we did have, all-time high where the bodies closed. Obviously, the all-time high is around 65,000. I'm not a doctor, and you won't feel a thing until I... Oh my god, what? So we've been closing above this previous resistance 3 times right now. Hello, Coin Freaks TM. How are you? So if the weekly are closing with a doji like this tomorrow, in 1 day and 9 hours, yeah, well, we could go up, we could go down. Looking at the lower time frames on the daily, we did have a high, we did have a lower high, we created a lower low, even if it was a fake out. Market came back up and we created a new high. We never kind of broke the previous high, just a little bit, so you could say it is a higher high. Hey Natalie, can I get the bonus on Bybit? Do I have to input some code after creating an account? You should have the email that you have. They should have sent you the code. So we do have a fake out. Market can come back down to and try to fake us out one more time. We did try to break the support right here. We never had the power to do that. So we are right now closing above this support one more time. We just might also retest this previous low right here at 60,800. we just might have the market coming to that level, comes back down. So either the market will break the support or it will come back down again. So that at that point, it just might give us another fake out until we go back inside of it again. Looking at the lower time frames, looking at the 1 hour, we do have very clear market structure. We do have the lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Oh yeah, it was almost a lower low. Lower high, market come back down and created another lower low. So we're taking a Fibonacci from the highest point at 61,500 to the lowest point at 60,118. We could come back up to this previous lower low or low that we did have. Either we are coming back up as a retest, create the new lower high, and then the market comes back down here again and break the support. But just remember, guys, we need to look out so we're not getting faked out looking something like this. So that is why it's really important. It depends on what type of trader you are, but you want the market, or I want to see when we're having the pullback, I want to see so we're not having a huge bullish candlestick to the inside one more time. Market goes back down. So this could also be a fake out that we're having. So we're closing in 4 minutes. So we're closing the 4 hour candle right now in 10 seconds. So we just might have a spike to the upside. So what's the clock? It's 7 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock, I'm sorry, in Sweden. I'm just gonna see. 4, 18, 0, 0. And yesterday we actually had the market coming up, and this was actually happened today. So yesterday when I had my live streams, I took my Fibonacci from 61831 to the lowest point, and that is 60813, to see if the market could come up to that to the Fibonacci level, and it actually did. You can see it right here. We did have a wick, and remember, guys, usually when I always use 50 and the 61% when I'm trying to find my entries. And during all this time that I've been using Fibonacci, it's been a long time right now, and the market almost every time respects the 50% more than the 61%. And that's something that you can see right here. So sometimes we do have the wick going through 61 also, but it's usually always the 50%. I'm always trying to have my entry at 61 because I want to have a higher price, and it's better for me also. It's not that huge of a difference depending on what time frames you're using the Fibonacci on. If you're using it on the higher time frames, is obviously a bigger distance between the 50 and the 61%. So at that point, I want to use the 61% instead of the 50%, because it can be a huge space between those numbers. But that is, as I told you guys, obviously depending on what time frame I'm using. But on the 15 minutes, it's not that huge of a difference. But you could see market came back up and retested. It did retest the Fibonacci, and then it just went down. It was very great. And looking at the 15 minutes right now, 15 minutes right now, we're taking that one away because we already used that. But we can take another Fibonacci from 61,200 to the lowest point, 60,277, and we are inside of the Fibonacci right now. But looking at the higher time frames, it feels like we can come up a little bit more. I think if I just copy and paste it, Okay, so we're copying pasting the higher time frames Fibonacci instead of this 15 minutes, because the higher time frame, the more respected. So if we're taking the Fibonacci, the market comes up to 61,050 and 60,900. So if market comes up to that level, I can actually put a notification on it right now. So if we're coming back up to, and it looks like we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna take it from the 61% right here, because it feels like we're just coming to the 50% just in a couple of minutes or so. We're not that far away, so I rather have the market coming up to 61%, and after that I'll see what's happening with Bitcoin. But looking at Bitcoin on the overall picture, we are at the support, so we have to be careful, so we're not just, you know, just let's see how it looks on the 30 minutes. Oh, was it on the 1 hour chart? Yeah, so just 1 second, I just want to see. So if we're looking to something like this, if we don't want to get faked out, right? And that happens quite a lot. So we're just taking that one away for 1 second, and we are using, because you have multiple, you do have multiple support and resistance on different time frames. Obviously, you have this one, and I'm taking that one based off the previous resistance that we did have on the weekly, and looking at the 1 hour chart is pretty good, because we can see that we have been here so many times as a support, and on the higher time frames it looks so much better. But if we're going down to the 3 hour chart, we do have another support right here, and we did actually have a candlestick that just closed inside of the support one more time. So this could be a fake out that we're having, and then the market comes up, retested as a new support, and then we see the market coming up, because we just came back down to the weekly support that we did have, and going back in time, that was a previous resistance. So it's very useful trying to figure out where the pullback, where the fake outs can be, because this is a fake out, this is also a fake out, this is a fake out to the upside, this is also a fake out. So we're always trying to figure out where the fake outs can be, because trust me, it's a lot of them, and they're always trying to take us out of the market. So it could be like that, but if we're going to the 1 hour chart, we also have to have in mind that on the 1 hour, this is the previous lower low. What happens with market structure is that we're having the market coming up, breaks the lower low, creates a new lower high, and respects the lower low, and then we are continuing back down. We can come up a little bit more, but just looking at the 1 hour chart, we do see the exhaustions that we're having right here. We are having 1, 2, 3, 4 bullish candlesticks. You can see that we did have an engulfing candle, and now after that you have 1 wick, you had a small doji, and you have 2 wicks to this previous support, telling us that we just might not be able to break inside of it one more time on the support. So we just might have the retest, and then the market goes back down. And even on the 2 hour chart, you have this is for every 2 hour. So this is a 2 hour candle, 2 hour, and now we're creating a new one, and this just opened, so it's 1 hour and 52 minutes left of this 2 hour candle. If we're going back down to the 1 hour again, we have a doji forming. Looking at the 30 minutes, I mean, you see we have so many wicks to the upside right here. Looking at the lower time frames, this is a support also. Of course it is. But we can come back up a little bit more, definitely. We can drag this down a little bit. So we just might retest the previous low that we did have, and that is the previous low that we did have at New York for a couple of days ago. So what could happen if we are not breaking more to the upside, so this alert that I'm having just might not be activated. So instead what could happen is that we're coming back down, we're coming back up and retest this previous support again, and then you see market coming back down. At that point we have to look up on how it looks on the 60,000 support one more time. Remember, the higher time frame support and resistance, supply or demand zones is very, very important. So that could be a quick scalping from 60,700 to 60,000. If we are seeing market breaking to the downside, comes back up again, and then market goes back down. As long as we're closing below. And when we're looking at the higher time frames and when we're having wicks on the higher time frames, that is how you combine these two together. So on the 1 hour chart, we see multiple dojis candles. Breaking that down to the 15 minutes chart. Looks good. So we just might have to wait and see what's gonna happen. Looking at Ethereum, we did break the support that we did have. We never had a retest. The market just stay awesome, Natalie. Thank you so much. Hi Natalie. Hey, oh hey Tesfaye Kede. Hello beautiful. Hello beautiful. How are you? Hi. Who's making the fake outs? Who is trying to keep us out of the market? Well, it's the big boys. Solana new all-time high. Oh really? Oh yeah. Wow, market has really been going up today. We see so we can take another trend line. We can take it from the 4 hour chart. Okay, so we did have yeah, so we're just going up right now. We're having a huge bullish candlestick on the daily today. So we're just being very bullish, obviously. And this trend line has been very respected, as we can see. We just might come back down and retest this trend line one more time. Going down to the lower time frames. Okay, so we do have another candlestick open and 30 minutes chart closing. Okay, market could come back down on Solana, obviously, because we're at the higher high right now. So doing nothing is like the best thing that you could do right now, because the market has already made its move. If you would have had a good entry, it was supposed to be down at 243. Yeah, around that area. So if you are thinking about buying Solana right now, I mean, I am no financial advisor. Everything that I do and say is based on how I see the market. So everyone has to make their own decisions. But when we are traders or investors, we're trying to buy the market as low as possible, guys. So the chance, if you're starting to buy the market right now, huge chance when, you know, market goes up, it goes down. So market goes down, creates the new higher low, then the market goes up. So if you're buying the market at the highest point, you'll be in drawdown, you just might have your stop loss taken, or you just might leverage, you just might have a, you know, 100 leverage, or you're using too much of your account, and then you're getting stopped out. Maybe you don't have so much on your account, you know, it's not a good thing to do. Luckily, but smash that like button. Yes, guys, please go inside and like this video. It would be so nice if you did that, helping me growing in this channel, make more people be able to see when we are going through Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. I'm always trying to make it as easy as possible understanding market, because I know it's really hard. So I'm doing my absolute best to explain it as easy as possible. And that is great. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're coming back up again on Bitcoin. So this is, I like when market starts to move. So we did break. So looking at this, we do have 46 seconds left of this 15 minutes candle. So we're closing inside of the support. So for the market to break down right now is not something that we're looking at. Nathaniel, hello, how are you? So we just might come up to 61,033, and if we're doing that, that's what we're gonna see. Okay, what could happen? Because remember, guys, when we were looking at the 2-hour chart, or was it even on the 3-hour, this could be the fake out that we're having. We can also take this this support down a little bit for it to look better. So you're having the support right here. It looks so much better. I had it up here before, just adjust it a little bit, and this looks so much better. And just changing the support line a little bit, we are seeing the market having the fake out right here. First of all, we did almost touch this support, depends on where you have it. We did touch it. Going back in time, we've been trying to break. You can see this is so many fake outs that we're having. So on the 3-hour chart, we are closing above the support. So breaking everything down to the lower time frames. If we're having the touch right now to the opposite side, and we're still closing above these candles, we just might come up to the resistance, to the Fibonacci again, and we just might break it. So this maybe will not be valid. So we just might have a push right now to the resistance one more time. But definitely something that we have to wait and see. Remember, guys, we're always following price. But to have in mind, we did have the fake out right here. We're taking and copying, pasting. Can you see? We're taking that one away. So the market broke into. So this is the exact same chart, just different time frames, okay, guys? Just so you should be clear about that. So everything that happened right here, it's on the right side on the 15-minute chart. We broke inside of it again. So this was the fake out. Market comes inside, closes inside of the support right here. So the next candle that we're having right here comes back down, retests the support, and now it goes up. It's so easy to get faked out when we're not looking for it. I can't say I didn't hope enough. I closed a couple of trades this morning on BTC. Oh, really, you have? AC, you want Nat to look at Holo? Okay, I can look at Holo. Okay, we're looking at HOT. We're taking everything away, so we're just starting over again. Going down to the lower time frames. Okay, just want to see, we're having check Ben. Oh, yes, I can look at them. Natalie, how have you been? I'm very good today. I'm very good. I actually bought glasses because I've been having troubles with migraine. So I bought glasses that will take away the blue light. So is it called blue light glasses? I don't have them on right now, but I will have it when I'm working and don't have live stream. So hope it will be better. Okay, thank you, Deborah. I'm gonna look at those pairs. So we're starting off with HOT. Okay, so taking this level right here. So every time we have been right here at these between 0.11 and 0.12, we've always reversed from that level. Okay, so I took it from here because we could see that when market came to this level, the market started to break to the downside. We came back up, we came back down again. So every time we've been here, the market has reversed from it, either as a support, comes back up, or break, retest, comes back down. Retest as a resistance, tried to break it, came back down. We broke the level, came back down with a wick, market comes back up. So what could happen is definitely market coming back down again, because on the lower time frames, we are creating lower highs, depending on how this candlestick will close. The previous lower high that we did have on this downtrend is this level right here. So this could be a new lower high that we're having on the 4-hour chart, but it can also continue to the upside. But just by following market structure, this is the high, this is the higher low, now lower high. We created a lower low because it's lower than this previous lower low, and we just might create a new lower high. So we have to look at what happens against 0.15, and if we are continuing back down, when we're coming back down to this supply or resistance area where I'm having. And every time we've been here before, the market has either broke it and reversed from it, or just touched it quick. So definitely an area to have in mind to see if we're going to hold it as a new support or if we're going to break it. But on the higher time frames, we do have huge momentum to the upside. So this so the pullback can come back down to 0.11, and then you see market comes back up. So definitely something that I would see if we're combining a Fibonacci. We're taking Fibonacci from 0.09 on the weekly, but we're using the high from the daily, because on the daily we do have the bearish candlesticks. So that is also combined. See how Fibonacci comes into the supply area or resistance area that I'm having. Also, this is something that's very important. We're having the market coming up to a previous resistance right here. Looking at these two candlesticks on the 8th of May, we're just dragging it like this. We can see market tried to break it. It never had the power to do it. So market closed inside of it again. And what's happening on the lower time frames is that so this is when the downtrend started. So we tried to break it. We didn't have the power to do that. Market comes back, retested as a new support. breaks to the downside. And usually what happens. So I do believe I have to look on HOT, definitely look at what the market is doing against this high that we're having. You just might see a huge break to the upside, and then you see the continuation, or what I just showed you, to the downside. Okay, so REQ, USDG. We're having the resistance right here. I just want to see how it looks on the 4-hour chart. Okay, so we did have some trouble breaking this high that we did have so many wicks to the upside. So I'm taking my resistance from the body of this wick that we're having on the daily, from the body to the wick. And going back in time, you can see how many times we've been touching this area. You had so many spikes to the upside. Market really trying to break it. So what could potentially happen is that we're coming back up to this resistance, and then we see market continuing back down. Because looking at the higher time frames, we're looking at the daily. So yesterday we did have an engulfing candle against this previous resistance that we did have, and that tells me that we are continuing back down. And we did break. You had the low, higher low, you had another higher low right here, and during today we did break it. So we came up, we made a high, we created a lower low because the market broke this previous higher low, and right now we are retesting it as a new potential lower high. After that, market right now can continue back down. We can also take a Fibonacci to see if we're getting a higher price. So we're taking it from 0.2428 to the lowest point that we're having, and that is around 0.2198. So what could happen is that we're seeing the market trying to come back up again, doesn't have the power to it, respect Fibonacci, and then comes back down. So that is definitely something that I could see market do, because we are breaking to the downside. And having on the day yesterday candle looking like this, definitely can come back down more. And I would see the first targets is around 0.2153 and 0.2093. So pullback. So this is the pullback. Market comes to these levels, and then we just might see the market continuing to the upside again. And this is what happened since yesterday, guys. So on ADA, can you see how perfect this is, guys? It's beautiful. I did have a Fibonacci from this highest point. I think I took it from the 3-4 hour chart. I took it from a 1 hour? Yeah, I don't remember what time frame I took it from. I'm gonna take that one away. So what I said, guys, is that we just might come back up to retest the what was it? The 60 and 50% level. Can you see how the 61%, as I told you guys, usually the market always respects the 50%. You had the wick to the 61%. What happened? Market spiked to the downside. So that is why just looking at this, guys, the market just reversed back up to the Fibonacci. Market comes back down. It's really amazing how it works. Just trying to puzzle everything together, and voila, you have a perfect entry right here. 8A is so boring. But looking at 8A right now, we are also at a previous, we can put a resistance line right here. Resistance line, a trend line. And we are respecting the trend line with 1 wick, 2 wicks to the downside. Goodbye, Mark. Have a good day. See you tomorrow. So, fake out to the trend line. Market can come back down to the trend line one more time. Retest, continuation to the upside. Because we are in the uptrend, the market just had to pull back down. Okay, we're not in an uptrend, we are in a downtrend. I'm sorry, guys. But if we're taking everything away, we came back down and retested this previous resistance that we did have around 1.8. Can you see the wick that we did have? So this just might be, so we did have the market having this triangle. Market broke to the downside. So this could also be where the market comes back inside of the support again, on the support that we're having on 2.1. We had to retest this previous support and resistance for then find the power to break to the upside again. Looking at the daily, we have other support and resistance levels right here, and that's the one we are above right now. So we came back down to this previous support that we did have on the daily, looking at 0.9, 1.9, I'm sorry. Came back down, market started to create higher lows. We are retesting, we're having the trend line. We had the first, we started with the trend line at this wick that we did have on the 28th of October, because it was after that wick we did come back up. Market comes back down, we are and at this point we're able to create the trend line, right? Market comes back up, you had a wick, you have the third touch on this trend line right now. So we're just adjusting it a little bit. Goes back down to the lower time frames. You had the fake out. Market tries. Could come back down again to the trend line, and then you see the market goes to the upside. Because if you don't know the rules, when you're trading off a trend line, you're never trading off the second touch. Never. That's when you're creating the trend line. When you're having the third touch and you see the market hold it, that's when you started trading off the trend line. So either the third or the fourth touch on the trend line. Never the first touch. Because we don't know if it will hold. So I could definitely see the market continuing up from this level. Okay, Kevin Christiansson, hey. Hey. Okay, Shiba Inu. Oh, did I confuse myself? Oh no, it was not one. Sorry. Okay, we're looking at Shiba. We're taking this previous resistance at 26th of October on the 1 hour chart. You see market broke that level, came back inside of it, and on the 1 hour chart we did respect it. We broke it, came back in. We did have a W formation, a bullish W formation to the upside. Market comes back inside of it, retest it, comes back up and figures out that we are gonna break this support or previous resistance, comes back in, retested on the lower time frames. Can you see? Market tried to break it. He had a W formation, a bearish double bottom formation, comes back inside of it, retest, market goes back down. So what potentially could happen right now, I always have to look at the higher time frames. So looking at this, guys, we did have the market having the high, comes back down, creates a lower high, market creates another lower low, market comes up and retests this previous lower low, going back to the lower time frames. This is how it looks. Market comes up, retest, comes back down. But right now we have to wait and see if we are continuing back down, obviously, or if we break into the upside. We did have a huge bullish candlestick yesterday that engulfed this previous one that we did have. Going to the 4 hour again. I'm just jumping in between these levels right now, guys, because I really, I'm analyzing myself, so that is why I'm jumping in between. If you're getting confused. We're taking, look at this. I mean, it's always the same thing. You're taking Fibonacci from 7166 to the lowest point that we did have, and that is 4943. Can you see market comes up to the Fibonacci 61% and it just closed below it? Can you see how perfect this is? And then you're breaking it down to the lower time frame. So you see you have a huge wick on the 4 hour chart. Looking at the 1 hour, can you see? So market came up to Fibonacci 61%, comes back down, retest 50%, comes back down again. Can you see how perfect this candle is closing against the 61%? Or 50, I'm sorry. Can you see? It just closed like a few pips below it. It's crazy. Crazy! Oh my God! So perfect. So perfect, guys. But the big question is now, will we continue back down? Well, it's 7 hours, 23 minutes left of this candle. So there's a lot of things that can happen. And that's why we're using the lower time frames to see what's actually going on. And we did have the retest of this 50% level 2 times. So, but on the 6 hour, I don't feel, it doesn't look that good. Okay, so we're looking at 4 hour again. 2 hour. So, if we're breaking this trend line right here and we comes back up and retest it, I could definitely see the market breaking to the downside again. Continue doing the higher lows. And if we are continuing back down further on the higher time frames, we are gonna break this support at 4445, but we are still in a uptrend on the higher time frame. So this is just a pullback that we're having. So we have to be careful. So this could just be the market having the last low, market comes up, Market comes down a little bit more on the higher time frames, and then you see the market starting to create the higher highs and higher lows. So what we're talking about right now, so everything that's happening right here, this is the pullback that we're having on the higher time frames, uptrend. So we're just taking everything away. So this is just a downtrend that or this is just a pullback that we're having. We're taking everything away. Can you see, guys? So what we're trying to figure out is where the pullback will end. So for us right now to start thinking, oh yeah, we'll continue forever. No, because we are not in a downtrend on the overall picture. We are in a uptrend. This is the pullback. So this could actually be the last time with the, so this could be the last leg that we did have as a lower low. If we're taking a Fibonacci from the lowest point to the highest point, or we can even take it from 4707 to the highest point at 6237. Market could just come back down to 50 and 61% level right here at 54.95 or 52.74, and then you see market having the power to break to the upside. We just might break this trend line that we're having. So we're taking a trend line, looking at like this. You can take it on the 4 hour just to adjust it a little bit. So we're taking it from here, and we created a new lower high. So we're taking it to these bodies that we're having. And this is also the previous, this is the previous lower high, but this could also be it because this was just a quick one. But if we're breaking this level, this high, we just might come back down, retest the trend line, and then you see market goes up. Does that make sense, guys? I'm just trying to make it very simple. Simplicity is key, guys. The more things you have on the charts, the more complicated you'll have it for yourself. And especially if you're a beginner, I highly recommend to try to have as few things on the charts as possible. You don't have to have 3,000 resistance or support lines. You don't have to. You could use the ones that accurate. So what's happening down here, I don't care about what's happening down here. It doesn't matter what's going on because the market is not at that point. Keep it simple. That goes with everything in life, guys. Keep it simple, stupid, you know? It's trying to take this bracelet off me. It's annoying. I remember one time there was someone who tried to teach me trading. It was a long time ago. And it was actually a woman. And she tried to, and she was a very good trader also. I'm not going to take that away from her. She was very good. But the way she had her, the lines, it confused me so much. But she obviously knew everything about the lines because she was good at it. But for me, it felt like I was on drugs or something. It didn't feel good. So I was like, no, I'm never going to have it like that. Okay, we're looking at band. Looking at the weekly, looking at the monthly. This could be a V formation, right? On the monthly, but we've already been going from that level. But that tells me we just might not coming back down even more. So we're using these as two double bottoms, right? Market creates another double bottom looking like this. W or whatever you want to call it. Going down to the lower time frames. Okay, so wait, so on the weekly we did have the high right here, taking a new trend line. looking at the daily, we just adjust the trend line a little bit, so we're never gonna 3 or 4 touch, never the first touch. That is what I learned from you. Thanks. What? Not the first or the second. What do you mean the first? You don't. The first. This is the first one. This is terrible. Cannot use that one. And the trend line is the 3rd or the 4th touch. Never. I mean, you can't even do it on the first one. That's when he creates it. That's why. What books can I refer to learn price action? Is it called the Candlestick Bible? I know it's very good. A lot of people have used that. You have Naked Trading also is a good one. I think I did translate the Candlestick Bible one time to Swedish, and I was reading the naked charts. The bear market can be... And I did read Naked Trading also, but it's very good. But just the thing, guys, that you need to do after you've been reading these books is actually starting to analyze the market through what they're telling you in the books. Because if you're just reading the market and you're not practicing on what you did read, you're never going to be able to do anything either. So don't try to read too many books. Like, take a book, read it, and then you practice on that. You don't have to read 1 and then 2 and then 3. Everything that you are doing on the computer, that's when everything's gonna start to happen. Are you Swedish? Yes, I'm Swedish. I live in Sweden. Yes, I'm Swedish. So don't just read things and think that, you know, it will just happen. You have to practice. You have to back test. You have to look at patterns. You have to do all of those things. Don't be lazy, guys. Don't be lazy. You cannot afford to be lazy, and because you at that point, seriously, you will never be able to trade the market. It doesn't matter what anyone tells you. Even when I show you all of these things, guys, if you not practice what I teach or how I do it, you will never be able to do it. Even if it looks easy, you'll never understand it. Okay, so we're looking at band. We have this high right here on the weekly chart. We could come back down to the trend line again, and that could be around 8. We can come back, but you have the previous low. You have the previous lower high right here. Higher low, I'm sorry. Checking fib, and we are inside of the Fibonacci right now on the daily chart. We're taking it from 8.195 to the highest point 10.306, and now we're just trying to start to break everything down. Okay, so market comes back down. Finnish, I bet. What? Yes, I'm actually half Finnish. My dad's from Finland and my mom's Swedish. You had the head and shoulders right here too. You had the shoulder, head, shoulder. Market comes back down. You also had the retest of the neckline right here. Viking blood. Yeah. Market are right now on the 50%, so the market could come back down, of course, a little bit more. But we can also break it, comes back down, because remember, guys, on the higher time frames, this is on the daily, this is the previous lower higher low that we're having. So as long as we're not breaking that level, we are still having the pullback. And if we're coming back down to these levels, and when market comes back down to that level, creates the lower high, higher low, I'm sorry, continues to the upside. So this Fibonacci that we're having on the 4-hour chart doesn't have to be valid. No, sorry, it was on the daily. looking at these candlesticks, we do have huge momentum. So for the market to come back down even more, I mean, it's high probability that it could do that. So just looking at this, you can also use this support, previous support. If you see the market coming up to that level at 9.4, if you see the market having a new lower high, because guys, you have the high, you have the lower high, you have the lower low, because it's lower than this previous low, market can just come up again and retest it, and then you see market comes back down, continuation to the upside. And by the way, thanks a lot for your great efforts. I watch your live streams almost daily and learn nothing. Oh, thank you so much. I'm happy about that. I'm very happy about that. You learned something. ECP. We're looking at ECP on the daily chart first of all. Taking that one away because we were analyzing this market yesterday. Looking at the weekly first of all, yeah, so we did have we were having huge momentum to the downside. Right now we're just consolidating, to be honest, right here in between these levels, either this level or you can just take it like this. So it's really easy to get faked out, and especially looking at this pair, you have so many wicks, like you have huge wicks to the upside, even going down to the lower time frames. Yeah, so it's pretty okay. So on the daily, we're trying to break this high. You had the fake out, right? And the fake out is because looking, you have a previous support, previous resistance. Market tried to break this high. You had a fake out. You have huge wicks to the upside. You had the market closing above with this bullish candlestick. Then you had another bearish candlestick coming back inside of the resistance, previous resistance one more time. Taking that one away so we're not getting confused. So what could happen? We're taking a Fibonacci from 50.85 to 47.25. We've already been retesting this previous resistance once, but it could definitely come back up one more time, and against the Fibonacci again about between 49 and 48, then you see market continuing back down. And even if we were in between, you know, you see market has been going sideways, but you still have the higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, or small downtrend, and higher high. Market could create the higher low right now, and then you see the market create another higher high, because eventually the market will have to break one of these levels. Looking at the 1 hour chart, we're having the downtrend right here, right? And we are right now respecting the trend line one more time with a wick. Looking something like that. But if we see the market start to slow down, if we're going back in time, we can take it to the line chart and see where we are. So we can see that right now we are at a previous support and resistance level. We can even drag it back down further. Can you see how perfect this is? So where the market is right now, the market could definitely come to this level and find a solid support, and then you see market starts to break to the upside again, because we're having a pullback. This could be the higher low that we are creating, then market starts to break to the upside. So we just might consolidate here for a while. We just might break this trend line that we do have. But as long as we're not, if we're coming up to 49.45, we want to see how the market reacts to that level. So we're not getting faked out and then the market comes back down again. Is it candlestick trading by both? Yeah, I think so, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's that one. Okay, someone was talking about 88. The support level season on 80 right now is crazy, isn't it? Who's just looking at this level? I still believe the market will come back down to have a second leg, and then you see market comes to the upside again. Ma'am, I love you. Wow, thank you. Not request, OMG. Okay, thank you, Devor, so much for helping me out. It's really nice of you taking your time doing this. I'm very thankful. Thank you, guys. Oh, it's appears looking like that. Really? Okay, this looks so much better on Bybit. On Bybit, yeah, guys, on Bybit. So we do have right now on Bybit we do have $3,500 in bonus, and you have the description down below, just by talking about it. What do you think about pattern trading? It's good. It's very good using patterns when you're trading, if that is what you're talking about. Okay, let's see. We're having a market taking Fibonacci from the lowest point to the highest point at 12.526 to the highest point 19.116 on the daily. We are right now on the 50% level. Could come back down a little bit more. And combining that with the 61% is pretty good. So remember, guys, when we're using the Fibonacci, the Fibonacci is not the only thing that we're using. We're always going back in time, looking at what levels do we see, patterns. But Fibonacci is definitely a great tool to. Can you see just why the market's respecting the 50% level? Very good using the targets or the Fibonacci. But it's obviously more than that. I'm not just buying the market because the market is at 50%. There's so many other things we need, but it definitely gives us very good targets on the market when or where we should start to look at reversals. So always remember that, because I saw someone was like, she's only looking it's not, she only uses Fibonacci, and I mean, no, I do not only use Fibonacci. If you think that, you have not been listening to a word I've been saying while I'm having my live streams. Is it a good idea to be a full-time trader without having a passive source of income? It's always good having multiple sources of income, always. The more the better, right? Because otherwise you'll always be dependent on one. Even if you're a good trader, it's always good to have more, right? Okay, so looking at OMG on the daily, we have two huge bearish candlestick to the downside, so we could definitely continue back down even more. We did respect the 50%. We came back up a little bit, but right now we're trying to break that level again, and we're also creating lower lows and lower highs on the 1 hour chart. So we could come back down to create another lower low. Looking at this, guys, so if we're closing like this in 2 minutes on the 1 hour chart, can you see this previous low that we do have right here? So this is a previous support turning into resistance, and if we're closing like this, we're also having a evening star against the resistance. So what could happen is that after this huge bearish candlestick, when we're closing in on almost 2 minutes, you could see the market coming back down. Not the whole way with one candlestick, but definitely push it to the downside. We can also see the market coming up a little bit to create a, on the higher time frames, it will be a wick, but we can come up, and at that point, you just might also see a small head and shoulders. Right? Can you see what I see? Fake analysis. How can you even fake that? How can you fake being in a fake analysis? I don't understand that. You'll see when someone know how to do it or not. Okay, I'm looking at. Haha, your grooves grow so the trolls don't sweat it. Not. No, you're right. The one thing I know, when you grow the channel, is very good, but seeing so many mean people, like people go into live streams or whatever, you know, TikTok, Instagram, and they're so mean to people. Why? How can you even have that time going in to my live stream, be mean to me, instead of just practicing your own way of trading? If you don't like how I trade, why do you have to express yourself and be like, none of you suck? Well, okay, well, why are you even here? I don't understand that. Like, do people have so little time? Instead of doing their own thing, they're just trying to break other people down. Guys, don't do that. Hi, Pamela. No, I know you should never care, but sometimes, you know, it gets to you. I mean, everyone's human. You're like, just a couple of days sometimes. I mean, I don't care. They're always gonna be like that. But just telling them, just saying it out loud. Like, I mean, I see and I hear. I don't care about it. I love the people who are supporting us. So sweet of you guys, so sweet. Hey Nat, after a long time, I'm here. Hi Mandar. Oh, Mark! Thank you so much. Thank you. We're going through Ethereum. Sorry guys, we were having some I started talking about other things. So looking at Ethereum, we did break the support. We just might come back up and retest it. We just might come up and retest it again against 4,450. Had a huge and you could see the whole time the market was on its way up. Yeah, we have to talk about the trolls sometimes. It's not okay. They can be here and talking shit and stuff like that. I don't know, you know, but it's never good. But hey guys, we need, you know, we need those people, I guess, sometimes too. It's just sad being one of those. Okay, Ethereum, you have the market. We broke to the downside. We control the trolls. Yeah, of course. We have to talk about it. They're not gonna think that you know, they can come in and be rude. Okay, so Ethereum, looking at this, so we're taking Fibonacci combined with all of, you know, this previous resistance, also the support that we did break. We're taking the we are taking the Fibonacci from 4504 to the lowest points at 4377. Can you see how we are combining the Fibonacci with this previous support? So it could definitely come up here, retest it, and then you see the market continuing back down. But I would definitely want to wait to see if the market comes to these levels. It just might also come up and retest this previous trend line right here. And guys, this is the funny thing, like right now I'm back testing so much. I'm having so many things on the charts right now that I'm back testing, and I'm trying new things, and it's so scary how good it is. And I've never used trend lines the way I've done it right now, and I learned so many new things about trend lines, but I'm still exploring it. I'll try to explain it later on because I really want to do this so bad. But this is the one thing also, it's so funny being a trader because you can always learn so many new things. Don't you see that descendant triangle? Yes, of course I do. If you're talking about this, so this is a pullback. So this is the pullback that we're having on the daily because we are in a uptrend. Market creates. So if we're closing with a candlestick like this on daily in 6 hours, I'm not gonna say trust me, but I do believe we will have a huge bullish candlestick tomorrow. We can come back down a little bit more, obviously, but that is just for the short term because this is the pullback. So we can come up and then you see the market comes back down again. We just might come back down to this previous low at 4,300. Then market goes back up. You're beautiful, smart about crypto. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Where are you from? I'm from Sweden, guys. I'm from Sweden. Are you in any trades currently, Natalie? Nope, I'm not in any trades right now. I'm back testing the hell right now. So that's what I see on Ethereum. We love you, Nat. Thank you so much, guys. I love you too. So much. Okay, let's see. They were BH, USDT. Okay, we're looking at BCH and we're having a support on the weekly. Looking at the monthly, just drag it up a little bit and see how it looks on the weekly. Yeah, so we're having it like that. So right now we are taking the, let's see, we take that away, we do another one. So we're taking a trend line right here. Remember, guys, we're buying at the third touch. If you wanna no problems. Okay, so I do believe we'll come back down a little bit more. We did have the low, we didn't have the higher low, but we have so many wicks to the upside right here. Going back in time, this is also a previous resistance where we actually broke, came back down and retested right now. And I definitely could see market coming back down to this trend line. So we're gonna take a, I mean, it doesn't have to happen right now because it's the daily and it's pretty far away. But we did have the market break and break this previous resistance. You can see that this is also a previous support. It's pretty huge box that I'm having. So, well, but I mean, looks pretty good. And we did break this low that we did have at 590. What potentially could happen is that we're coming up to that level once again, create the lower high, and then market continues back down. And the target that I'm having to see if we're coming back down to this trend line that we're having. It is the daily trend line, so it will take some time, but it could definitely come back down to that level. We're also using this previous support at 545. Can also come back down to that level. Because remember guys, you have different important areas on each and every time frame, so that you don't always have to wait for the market to come back down to this daily trend line. I mean, if we're gonna do that, we'll always wait forever, and we don't have time doing that, or me, especially not me. But it's definitely a good target for us to see. If we're continuing to see the market break into the downside, the trend line will be a good target for us to see that, okay, if the market comes to the trend line, at that point, that just might be the third touch that we're having. See? First, second touch, third touch. Market breaks to the upside. But right now, on the lower time frames, we are in a downtrend. We were consolidating here. Market just goes up and down. Market breaks the support, can come up and retest it as a new lower high. Market continues back down. Okay, so let's see, Devor, what did you tell me to look at? XRP. Go XRP. Yeah, we're looking at the weekly first of all. Ignore this girl. Long BTC, it's 100% the bottom. This bottom level long. Blockchain planet. Thank you, Devar, so much. You just did what I was thinking about. Thank you so much. I was just waiting for that. Okay, let's skip that one. Okay, we're looking at the weekly on... Yes, Devar, this... 100% subscribe. Thanks for the update. So thank you so much, David. I'm very happy to have you. If you're subscribed to my channel, I'm very thankful. Thank you, guys. This channel deserves a Discord channel. Yeah, we're actually talking about open up a Discord. It's definitely something that I would use too. I've had Discord before. It's very good. Okay, so we're taking, okay, we're looking at the weekly. So even if we've already been touching this level on the 50 and 61%, I still want to have it because it's very good to see if we're coming back down too, especially to the 50%, guys. Because remember, guys, usually the market comes back down and retests previous levels, and the 50% on the Fibonacci is more likely to be touched than the 61%. So we're having the 50% at 0.9494 if we want to be precisely. And looking at the market right now, it doesn't, I mean, just see. I have to adjust this one. So we're taking it from the highest point right here. And we're taking it to these candlestick bodies right here. So we had 3 touches of this trend line. Market comes back down. So we eventually, we have to break. Either we're coming back down to this previous support that we do have right here. We can also adjust it depending on where the market comes back down to, but I definitely see this more accurate because this is just a fake out that we did have. Market tried to break to the downside, came back up again. So I would definitely use this support as the 50%. Going back in time, you can see that we have multiple wicks to this level too. We had a breakout as a resistance. XRP has huge upside. Yeah, the market just have to try to break it. Even if we're waiting for the market to break, it could definitely come back down to find liquidity, and then you see market starts to break to the upside. So this is where patience comes in, guys. We definitely have to wait and see how the market reacts, because looking at the 4-hour chart right now, we do have the market creating lower highs. You see, we create lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and that is not and this is on the 4-hour chart, guys. So it's a pretty strong time frame that we're having the lower lows and lower highs on. So this is the downtrend. We're having the pullback. Looking, we do have huge wicks, and we are retesting this previous resistance, turning into a new support. So this support, previous resistance, just might hold as a new support. Looking at 1.12. And for example, so if I would see the market breaking to the upside here, I would take my Fibonacci from 1.1228 to the previous highest point at 1.709. If market breaks the level, comes back down and retest, and also breaking this resistance that we're also breaking this, just have to adjust it so it gets perfect. So we do have a trend line right here. We do have a support. If I would buy the market at this point, I would want the market to break the Fibonacci 50 and 61%. I want the market to come back down and break the Fibonacci, or just respect it. But if we're breaking it together with this trend line, and we are retesting the trend line combined with the 50 and 61% Fibonacci, that is, for me, as long as we're having dojis to the downside telling us, hey, we're not ready to come back down again. So I would just want to find something to you guys to see how it looks. So for example, trend line from the lowest point to the highest point, market comes back down. So looking something like this. It has to close above. It has to close above this this low that we're having. So market can definitely come back down, but we're using, so if we're breaking the Fibonacci level, we're coming back down to the support. So the support is at that point, the one we're looking at, as long as we're not breaking it. And as long as we're seeing the market having movements to the upside. Okay, Devor. What else? Mana. USDT. Okay, so we did have a small pullback right here. This was the last lower high that we did have on the downtrend on the 4-hour chart. So this was the last low. We had the trend line. Market broke the trend line, came back and retested it. Also broke this previous lower high. So what market potentially could do, we're using Fibonacci from 2.43113 to the highest point at 2.9420 combined. Can you see? So usually what the market is doing when you're breaking a downtrend becomes a uptrend, you're coming back down and retest this the last lower high. The other book you suggested, was it Naked? Was it Naked Forex? I think it was Naked Forex. I think so, yeah. So market could come back down to 2.6, and then you see market continuing to the upside. We can also come back down to this previous support that we're having at 2.4. If we're coming back down to that support, remember guys, market has to respect it for it to hold. Otherwise, it could definitely break it and then continues back down again. So it's so hard sometimes when you're having the market just having a small pool. I mean, we don't have so much to look at this point. 1.5 is the closest target. So we just have to work with the targets that we're having around these levels right here. And just by looking at how market structure is moving, we did have the downtrend, we broke the downtrend, created a higher high. We now need to see market coming back down, forming the higher low for it to be a respected beginning of a new trend to the upside. So remember guys, pullback, continuation to the upside. FTM. So we're having the support right here at the daily on Phantom. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wicks that is testing this line. So we're taking this Fibonacci away because obviously it was not accurate. Taking everything away. So we're having the support You can just adjust it a little bit. Market faked us out. Market tried to break. It depends on how you're having the level. You can have the support like this or like this. Either way, the market faked everything out, or everyone who tried the market, who thought the market were supposed to go down even more. And we are inside of the Fibonacci right now on the 4-hour chart. We've been consolidating. We had another fake out right here. So guys, we're having fake outs everywhere. So you're having the support, right? Market faked us out. Comes inside of the support again, retest. And this is actually, could be for me a good buy opportunity. You can also take a new Fibonacci from the lowest point at 2.6 to the highest point at 2.6736. I could have a buy limit at 2.692, something like that, on the 60% or the 50. If I would see the market coming back down, create the second leg, and then market continues to the upside. FTT. We're looking at FTT right now, and we are inside of the Fibonacci that we did take before. I took it from on the weekly from 47.17 to the highest point 73.52. We're breaking everything down. We're having trouble breaking to the upside. You see we have a lot of wicks, but we're still maintaining the higher lows, right? Higher, a low, higher low, higher low, higher low. We are still having higher low because we never broke these levels right here, and we are inside of the Fibonacci. Okay, Divor, I will look at them after this pair. We did retest the trend line. Do it like this. We did have the fake out of the trend line, so we could definitely come back down to 58.76 again. I don't have a bearish candlestick right now. I can take it from this level, so yeah. So let's say if we see the market pulling back down one more time, because I do see buy opportunities, come back, combine with the 61% against the trend line, and that is 58.51, market could come up. Okay, so we're looking at QNT. We're having, okay, so I also took a Fibonacci since before from 150 to the highest point at 356. We are right now coming into the Fibonacci level. So we did have the market continuing back down. Market was going sideways. We're looking at something like this. Very easy to lose the money right here because you're having multiple wicks to the upside. So at one point it actually looked like we were supposed to break this level if we're looking at the higher time frames. So can you see how many fake outs it is right here? So many. Okay, so market breaks down. We're having, only thing that we're having, huge momentum. We broke this support, retested it one time, two times, almost three times, market goes back down. So we almost came to the 50%. We didn't touch the 61%. looking at the 3-hour chart. Okay, so this is how the fake out looks. So we can use the 50% as a support. So if we're coming up again from this, so we are inside of the Fibonacci level. We're having on the 4-hour chart, we do have a huge bearish candlestick to the downside. But if the 4-hour closes above the support at 255, you can see this happen. Market continues to the upside. Breaks inside of the support, retest it as a new support, market comes back up. Fake outs hit my stop loss so many times. Oh yeah, I know. I mean, fake outs, they are everywhere. It's very easy to get faked out. We're also taking a Fibonacci from 240 to the highest point at 257. So where the market can come back down to before also we're breaking to the upside, it can come back down to 247, and then you see market comes back up inside of the support and do the things that I told you about. Breakout, retest, continuation to the upside. But remember, at that point, guys, you do have another huge support right here. So if we see the market coming to that level, guys, we all know market doesn't just go straight up. It doesn't go straight down. It always works itself like this. So it just might come to this support and then continue back down a little bit. It just might come back down to this support again, and then market goes up. Why aren't you adding wicks in your fibs? I just don't use it. I've never used it. When I started learning Fibonacci, that's how I started it, and that's how I got taught. And after retesting it, backtesting it, it feels better with me using the candlesticks. But I'm not saying that's the right way to do it. It's just how I do it. Backtesting is key, guys. Okay, so we did have something else. Okay, where are they more? VET. So guys, remember, you know, everyone's that is doing trading, obviously we're using trend lines in one way, support, resistance zones. Everyone's doing kind of, you know, some doing the exact same thing, some people don't. So the best thing to do and not be confused, you have to back test it yourself. Okay, so we are at this previous resistance as at VET at 0.15 on the daily. So we did actually retest it today. So if we're closing, if the market is up, it's 6 hours and 9 minutes left. So if we're seeing the daily closes inside of the resistance, you see fake out, it could come back up, retest, then market goes back down again. But we can also respect it because we did try to break it right here on the 4-hour chart. So this could be the fake out to the downside, but we're actually seeing the market coming up, retest it again, and then you see the market continue to the upside. So if we're spotting the fake outs pretty fast, best thing that we can do. But we're also having this previous support, resistance, I'm sorry. Taking it from the wicks right here on the 4-hour chart. We can also make this smaller if we can just take it away, and we're using this previous high right here. So remember, it's always a zone, so it's not just one specific number when we are putting the lines. So yeah, I would do it something like this. So we're inside of this level right here between 0.15 and 0.16. Natalie, aren't you part of the cult? What cult are you talking about? Which one of them? Oh my god! David Barrett, hey Natalie, thanks for making the effort on the weekend. No problem, guys. I mean, you're traders, I'm a trader, so I sit at the computer most of the time, yeah, you know. Wow, 5 more likes to 100, smash that. Okay, guys, please go inside and like this live stream. Make it 100, make it 150, but please, let's make it 100 likes so we are able to connect with more people so they can see how we are looking at the charts and how polite everyone are on my live streams. Okay, so we just on VET, we do have this huge bearish candlestick right here that we have to look at because we just we are just going in between these levels right now. So either it break to the upside or to the downside. Because we can come up and then we're coming up to the resistance again and then we're coming back down to the support again, and we just might do that for a couple of times. So these I would wait for the market to either break 0.15 or 0.16. I can't like 2 times. Can you promote me? It's my turn. Let's see. Oh, A to A. So guys, if you're not a part of Bitcoinsensus community, it's 107 people here. We do have a great website that we are using. So let's see where it is. We do have here Bitcoinsensus. So on Bitcoinsensus website, we always have updates about cryptocurrencies. So if me or Andy doesn't have our live streams, or we do not put up our regular videos, because if you're new to my channel, I always have daily updates about either I have live streams or I have daily updates about cryptocurrency. So a short video on 8 minutes, max 12 minutes, that I'm just going through what I do on live streams, but I just put everything together about like 2 pairs. But this website, if you're not looking at our videos, this website, we always have news about cryptocurrencies, as I just told you. You also have Andy right here, who's a great guy. You can go into his channel if you never have seen him before. But go inside to this. Everything is for free, guys, and you can also go into our community through Telegram. And Davor just put up it too into the chat that we're having on the live stream. So you're more than welcome to be a part of. More than welcome to be a part of our community, guys. Okay, 8A. So we're just talking about cryptocurrency. So everyone's like a nerd about cryptocurrency. So if you want to be a part of that, please, you're more than welcome to be. We're looking at ATA on the daily. First of all, I always go through the higher time frames. Looking at the weekly, we did have a low, we did have another higher low, we did have a high, we did have another higher high. So we are right now at the next higher low. We are creating we did have the downtrend right here for a couple of days or weeks, I would say. Market breaks to the upside, we create higher low, another higher low, because it never broke this previous one. We just might come back down to the trend line one more time, combining that also with fib from the lowest point to the highest point, and that is from 0.9541 to the highest point 1.2429. market comes back, is right now in the Fibonacci levels. Can you see market came back down? It just retested the 61% and closed above it. Natalie, thanks for the third touch technique. No, welcome. Isn't that something that, guys, come on, you have to know these guys. You have to, it's really important. Oh my god, okay, Medi, we know. God damn it. What? Okay, so we are inside of the Fibonacci. Can break it, but as long as we're not breaking this trend line, it's very good, because at that point we just might see the market try to break it, then you have the touch and continues to the upside. So it doesn't have to just respect the Fibonacci, can come back down to other levels too, like supports, previous support zone, previous resistance zones. Going back in time, just looking like this now, you can see that this level is a very strong resistance. Also going back in time, it's also a support on the daily chart, and that is combined with the 61%. But we do have huge bearish candlestick to the downside, so we just might not just spike to the upside again, but we just might consolidate for a while. Market just slows down, and then you find the momentum against these levels right here. So you have the Fibonacci, you have the previous resistance support, you have the trend line right here. So we just want to see what's happening. We can come up again and retest this lower low that we did have. So guys, when you're trading, you have to have different confirmation for you to be able to get into an order. So just don't jump in. You have to have certain confirmations, guys. And that is also something, if you're new, that is something that we learned from the beginning, but I know a lot of people ignore it. I also did ignore all of these. I mean, because you're so eager, you really want to be able to be inside of a trade, you really want to have the money, but with time, and it's better to do it quickly than just wait for a couple of years to do it. But really important having all of these different confirmations before you go into a chart. And you're gonna do it the same thing over and over and over again. So at some point, trading becomes boring because you do the same thing over and over again, right? Unless you're starting to back test and you adding a few other couple of things into the market, but that is also you adding another confirmation or take one out, I don't know, but you have to have certain confirmation for you to be able to go into the market. It's just a better way to do it, guys. So if you're new to it, guys, take it seriously right away. So let's say, for example, that right now we are not coming back down even more. So I'm taking a Fibonacci from the lowest point at 1.06 to the highest point at 1.10. Market can come back down to Fibonacci, and we have already respected it one time. You can see the market had spike, it had doji. So we just might see the market being inside of this level, and then you see it come back up. But definitely look at 1.11 to see the market, how it reacts to it. Oh, we reached 100 likes. Thank you so much, guys. I'm so happy. Thank you so much. I appreciate it very much. I'm so happy that so many people want to be on this live stream. ADX. Starting off with the weekly, we're going to the daily. Let's see. Oh, wow. Fun market. Not? What? Okay, so we've been having a downtrend like forever, like all the time. Guys, if you want to be a part of the Bitcoinsensus community, they've already just put up the Telegram group that you can go into. So we have 2 groups, and one of them we're everyone's just chatting. I think we're over 1,000 people right now on this channel. It's very exciting. There's a lot of people talking about cryptocurrencies, so you're more than welcome. Everything's for free. You have the link in the chat where Davor just put it in. Okay, so we are looking at ATX. So market has been going down for like all the time. Right now we are in consolidation mode, so we're just going sideways. So remember, in consolidation market, we're waiting for the market to either break to the upside or to the downside. Remember guys, if we're breaking to the upside or to the downside, if you see a candlestick pattern looking like this against this resistance, no, sorry, it's supposed to be green and this one is red, you're having a fake out and the market will come back into the resistance again. Just might retest it, market comes back down to the support, then you see market break it to the upside. The same thing happens if we're coming back down to the support, it's just the opposite. So market breaks it, everyone believes the market will break down, market comes up inside of the support again, retest, market continues to the upside. So very important that when the market decides to break one of these levels, either the resistance or the support, wait and see that, so you're not getting faked out. Okay, they were XRD. What? Oh, you just mean no. Okay, let's see. Taking that one away, we're looking at the weekly first of all. We need to look up, we need to look for this resistance right here at 0.315 to see if we're coming up to that level. We just might, because we've already had a huge week. Natalia is not this one, is not. Ah, sorry. XR. No, how do you spell that? Sorry for the, it didn't even hit the market. Oh, okay. Retard. I was talking about myself, not you there. Okay, we're looking at Rune. Please, can you Fibonacci something? I haven't heard you say it today. We have a Fibonacci right here on the weekly chart from 7.597 to the highest point at 14.979. Market comes back down. We are on our way down right now. Huge momentum. We are at the higher high right now on the weekly. We did have the higher high, higher low, higher high. And right now we're waiting for the market to break to the downside for us to be able to have a good entry on a long position, because the market is doing the pullback right now. How long? I do not know. That's why we are trying to figure it out. Looking at the daily again, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4. So for 4 days, we've been very, very, very bearish. We can also drag down to this support right here. I'll try to use another Fibonacci from the lowest point at 12 to the highest point to 16. Looking now, we actually surpassed this Fibonacci on the daily. We broke it, retested it, came back down. So I'm not using that Fibonacci. See guys, not everyone is something that we can use. Remember, market structure and price action is what we are using first of all, because that's telling us what the market is doing. Market structure right now is telling us that we are creating lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So if you need an indicator telling you this, I can promise you that if you learn to see with your own eyes, that could be the best indicator that you'll ever have. We had a previous support or previous resistance right here at 13.858. Taking these away so we're not getting confused. Market broke it, came back up and retested it on the lower time frames. We can see the retest. Just want to see something. So we can actually do something like this. We're just changing it, looking like yeah, looking something like that. Market broke, came up, retest, continuation to the downside. So where the market, the first target that I can see market coming back down to right now, we obviously need to look at this low right here at 13.2. Because remember guys, market is always trading from level to level. We are right now having the downtrend or the pullback, so we need to figure out, okay, where can the market end? So we could be in between. Just drag this down. We're taking that one away. We don't need too many things on the charts. Too messy. Okay, so right now I want to see how the market reacts to this level. Are we coming up to 14 again and breaks to the downside? Or are we coming back down to 13.2 and then we see market break into the upside again? Or we just might break it and then create another lower high against this previous lower low. Market comes back down to 12.12. Why? Because this is another support. So remember guys, market is moving from level to level. So if we're breaking this level between 14 and 13, we're having another level between 13 and 12. Mark, damn, you're fast. Thank you so much, Mark and Davor, for helping both me and Andy out. It's really nice of you guys. So we're heading back down to the support right here at 13.3. Yeah. Wait to see how the market reacts to 13.3. If it's going up, and we just might consolidate here for a while. Or break the trend line, come back down, retest, continuation to the upside. Okay, we're looking at ERGO. Same thing here, we've just been having a downtrend. Huge downtrend. So yeah, we came back down to a previous support right here, where the market did have the fake out. Market tried to break the support, never had the power to do it, so it came back up, taking fib from the lowest point to the highest point. We broke the Fibonacci, came back up inside of it on the daily. We created a double bottom right here. Market broke to the upside. We came back in, retested the 61%, market goes up. So the target, I can still use the Fibonacci 9.2 and 8.9 if the market decides to come back down again and retest it, and then I see market continuing to the upside again. So that's what I see. I can still use the Fibonacci levels. Link. Okay, we're looking at chain link. I know there was a lot of people who wanted me to look at it. So we're starting off with the weekly. We did create the low, high, lower high, and right now we just might come back up and break this level right here, create another high on the weekly. We definitely need to use this resistance against the high right here. We tried to break it, so I took the from the body right here on the weekly. Can you see how market came back up to that level at 33.42? You had 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks right now that are retesting it, so we don't have the power right now to break it. We're having movements to the downside, so this could actually be where the market breaks to the downside even more. You're looking at the 2 daily chart. Sometimes it's easier to do that. Oh, it is 2 daily. So we're taking a Fibonacci from 25.24 to the highest point at 32.41 or something like that. So the target for the market to come back down, so we just might have the pullback right now, and it could definitely come back down to this previous to the Fibonacci at 27.98, and that is also a previous high right here, a previous resistance. So we can come back down, create a new. So remember guys, a basic of trading, resistance turning to support continues, and then we just might have the power to break the high. So it doesn't happen right away. It just takes step by step, because we're having 2 wicks to the upside on the weekly. But looking at the 2 weeks, we did close above these two, and we are just having a new resistance right here The market can come back down too. And that is just above the Fibonacci that I was talking about. So between 29.50 and 28.38, because we're having a new resistance right here and we got faked out. Market, you know, tried to break it, comes back side again. Market can come up and retest the high at 32.50, and then market comes back down, and then you see market reverse to the upside again. Hi Natalie, I just joined the show. Hi Ian, how are you? Is everything okay with you? So that is what I see on Chainlink. I want to see what happened to Bitcoin, because we never had the alert telling us something. So, okay. Looking at the lower time frames, can you see what happened, guys? So market came up, almost touched the 61%. But we're still above this resistance, previous support. I'm sorry. We had a fake out to the downside. Market comes back in. So as long as we're not seeing the market, yeah, we're having a uptrend on the 15 minutes chart on Bitcoin, guys. I'm looking at Bitcoin right now. So we just might have the breakout to the inside again, retest, continuation to the upside, but we're definitely looking at what happens right here, because we are respecting the Fibonacci, but on the higher time frames, it is a fake out from the just around the support. You came back in, market retested, market can continue to the upside. Because we are at a, can you see how many wicks we're having? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 wicks to the downside. We had a fake out. So, I mean, we are retesting this previous all-time high a couple of times, guys, a couple of times. So easy to get faked out on these wicks and fake outs. Because on the overall picture, we're just moving sideways right now. Just moving sideways. So we can come up again to the resistance. One more time. Or we can come back down to 60,000, and then you see market trying to break that level again. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A lot of breaks, fake outs to the downside, guys. Well, getting tired now. And on Ethereum, we are inside of, yeah, so the thing that can happen on Ethereum is that we're doing the same thing. So we just might have the market breaking to the upside and create a leg above the support. And so everyone thinks the market will break to the downside and continue back down, but the market is actually going to the upside. Fake out. The real touch, market goes up. Do you understand, guys, what I'm talking about? Do you understand what I'm talking about? I'm getting so tired right now. Okay guys, I need to end this live stream because I need to do another video for you guys. So if you're not a part of Bitcoinsensus community, please be. You have the link inside of the chat where Davor just put it up. The Telegram group, you're always more than welcome to be there. We're always talking about cryptocurrencies, obviously, because this is a channel about cryptocurrencies and you are looking at it because you're interested in cryptocurrencies. So more than welcome, be there, talk about cryptocurrencies. Me and Andy, we're always giving up the videos when we're either live or just have our regular videos where you can look at it. And otherwise, just looking and talking to other people that's interested in the same thing as you. Have some fun. Okay, thank you so much guys for being on this live stream. Squeaky. Thank you Mark, and thank you Davor for helping me out. Thank you everyone who's being so polite to me during this live stream. I'm very happy about that. Have a good evening. Toodaloo. Bye. In Swedish we say hej då. Hej då allihopa. Ha en bra dag. I'm out.